about seasons that make a huge difference in our mental health, sometimes even our physical health and our relationships, especially if you're Canadian and you're dealing with, total freeze and everything's dark and you don't get as much sunlight. And when the summer hits in Canada, people just come alive. They're outside, they're visiting, they're having barbecues, they're out running and walking, and it's a whole other world out there. And everyone just seems so much more joyful and much more relaxed. And so I've really learned over the years to really take advantage of seasons. So sometimes there are actual practical seasons like summer, winter, spring, and fall. And other times it's spiritual seasons that we're going through, or even a season where we're kind of like in a lull where we don't actually have a lot of stressors going on in our life. It's actually a pretty good season. And those are the best times to really strengthen yourself for the seasons ahead. So I always tell a lot of the people that I work with in my course that the best way for you guys to prepare yourselves for those harder times, especially if you're struggling with anxiety and depression, is to really strengthen yourselves in the in-between times. So when things are a little easier and things are a little better, often that's when we kind of, chill out and just really check out from self-care and taking care of ourselves in that way. But that's really the time that you should be devoting the most time to getting yourself healthy, so that when those harder times come, when those winter seasons come, you're stronger and prepared to walk into that. So I kind of wanted to talk about this actual physical summer. Now it's different for everybody. I know I have a lot of followers who are from different parts of the world, and so maybe it's your winter that's just beginning. But I want to talk about the season where our schedules are a little bit lighter, our kids are out of school, the sun is shining, we have lots of activities planned, barbecues and camping or holidays, whatever you guys do for pleasure in the summer. So this is an awesome time, an awesome season in your life to really focus on living fearless, focusing on your mental health, focusing on your spiritual relationship with God and your overall well-being. So I was thinking today, okay, what are 5 things that I could share with you that I can challenge you guys to do this summer to really help you step onto a path of fearlessness this summer? So the first thing that I thought of was, I was thinking about the planting that I've done in the spring. So planted strawberries and planted tomatoes and planted some other flowers, and how this early on in the spring and summer is not the time for me to start plucking away at stuff. It's not the time for harvest. It's the time to water things, to watch them grow, and really see nature take its course. And so my first point for living a fearless summer is to say no and to guard what you've planted. So often, a lot of the reasons why many of us struggle with anxiety and depression is we have a really hard time saying no. Our boundaries are very loose. We tend to overdo it. We overcommit ourselves. We live in a constant state of exhaustion and doing things for other people. So basically what we're doing is we're constantly harvesting what's not ready in our hearts and our minds and in our lives because we have nothing to pull from. And we hurt ourselves in the process. And sometimes we can hurt ourselves quite severely. Burnout is a very serious issue that a lot of people just consider to be something that they'll just get over. But it's very serious in the fact that it can lead to a lot of other very severe complications, including anxiety and depression and mental health issues. So the first one I wanted to take is, in this summer, this is not time for you guys to be harvesting what you've planted. This is time for you to sit back and start saying no to new commitments, start saying no to things that you maybe were taking control of and had, was involved with in the fall and the winter and this is your time to sit and your time to just feed yourself, to water yourself, to nourish, to take time to just enjoy what's blooming in your life and not feel guilty about it. Everything comes in seasons, right? And that includes what you guys are committed to. So often, if you're a Christian, there's this pressure to do. And if you don't do, then you are somehow disappointing God and somehow not fulfilling your call as a Christian. But God's number one commandment, especially when he led the Israelites out of Egypt, was, I want you to come, I'm rescuing you so that you can enter into my rest. And God said that his salvation is simple, and he wants you to learn his rest and not strive. And so often we miss that point. And so I really want you guys to just think of a few things that you can do this summer to let go of. Things come your way that you can say no to, even if it seems like a good idea. Because what you're doing in this season is you are watching things grow in your life, and it's not time for harvest. So that is my number one point. So say no and guard what you've planted. You will know when the time comes, when it's time to really dive in. You just get this kind of, I can't explain it. It's like this supernatural energy and excitement to start stepping in and working and putting your hand to the plow, and you will feel it. God's faithful to let us know when it's time. But when you feel this resistance and the things you're saying yes to are grieving you and exhausting you and causing you more anxiety and more depression and more exhaustion, then perhaps you need to reevaluate what you're saying yes to. So that's number one. Number two, I give you full permission to fearlessly slack off this summer. I am a huge slacker in the summertime. I'm talking about I don't cook dinner very often. We eat whatever lettuce is growing in our yard, and whatever meat is available gets thrown on the barbecue, and that's about it. I don't have a lot of expectations for, having my house perfectly, and it's all about enjoying time with my family, about resting when I can, about reading as many books as I can this summer, and just really slacking off. This is kind of an extension of resting, but so often we just have this control issue where we just want to strive and make things perfect in our lives, but you have to, at seasons in your life, give yourself permission to slack. Summertime is a great opportunity to do that. So you want to avoid housework? Great. Pack up the kids and head to the beach. So really give yourself permission to really pull back this summer and just watch your mind begin to heal, and God be able to speak to you more, and you begin to settle in. And not only that, but when you focus on resting and really keeping things simple in the summertime, you will notice that when September hits and the chaos of all the extracurricular activities, all the kids going back to school, your work getting busier, all those kind of things, when life's picked up again, that you have a lot more strength and energy going into that season, and it's actually enjoyable, and you can even look forward to that busy season because you've really rested. So take advantage of the summer. The third point I have for you guys for living a fearless summer is take fear with you. So this seems like an odd thing, but I hear a lot from people of, oh, I have to go to this function, whatever, and I'm really nervous about it. I'm really anxious, so I don't know if I'm going to go, or I'm not sure that I can commit to doing this vacation because, I'm really nervous about traveling. Just those things that come up in summer that are meant to nourish you, or meant to build relationships, or meant to have fun, can become a really severe anxiety point for some of you. So I recently heard from a reader about, just the anxiety of having to go camping and wanting to do it for the family, but how extremely difficult that is mentally to be able to go, and other people just having expressed how hard it is to change routine, and how summer actually really flares up anxiety because our routine isn't the same. So my third point for having a fearless summer is take fear with you. Don't go into these situations with the mentality of, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to plan and do everything I can to control things as much as I can so I don't feel anxious. Or I'm not going to go because I don't want to feel anxious when I'm there. I don't want to have to bring my anxiety with me. I think that is always setting yourself up for failure. Know that anxiety will show up. Know that anxiety will show up on your vacation, will show up when you're in that crowd of people you don't know very well. It will come with you. And the more that you resist that, and the more that you fight that, the more it is winning over the things that could really bring you some great rest and joy and connection this summer. So acknowledge the fact that when you are stepping to do things that you don't feel necessarily comfortable with, or because it flares up your anxiety, something social, something out of your comfort zone, going camping with kids, whatever it is, just allow yourself and give permission to bring your anxiety with you. So this was something that I really had to say to myself, look, I'm going into this situation, or I'm having to do this. And I remember my first camping trip, going through panic and anxiety and having to figure out, okay, well, I have it pretty much under control on how I cope with it when I'm at home and when I'm in my controlled environment. But how do I take that out into the real world? And so it was something that I just had to invite it with me. So, okay, anxiety, you get to come with me on this trip. You get to come with me on this road trip to Disneyland, or this road trip camping, or to this family barbecue that I don't want to go to. You're welcome to come with me. I acknowledge that you're there. I'm going to feel all the symptoms of anxiety and fear, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I want you to take some control back. Fear is something you cannot control. Anxiety isn't something you cannot control, but you can teach it how it affects you and the decisions you make. So really just invite it along with you on those things, and try your hardest to not let it affect your decisions of what you do and what you don't do this summer. The fourth point I have here for Fearless Summer is more of a spiritual point, and that is to change. It's kind of a challenge. And it's not for permanent situation, but for the summer, how about you change the way that you actually pray? So often when we're struggling with fear and anxiety and stress and those kind of thing, start thinking about how you can change the way you pray from God help me to God give me peace to God, stop this from happening, make my fear go away, help this to be okay. So instead of praying that way, because I believe that it's really important to go to God for everything that we need, and it's really healthy for us to do that, but sometimes we can actually get caught even in a prayer trap of constant negativity and desperation, that we're actually really not hearing from God. It just becomes our venting point. And so one thing that I really want to point out that God spoke to me about quite a while ago was that God won't ever, and just don't get me wrong when I say this, God won't ever validate our anxiety and fear. He won't validate our depression and our despair, because God feels and experiences no fear, and feels and experiences no despair. And so God won't in those situations say, you know what, you're right, you should be really afraid right now. Like, can you imagine if God said that to me? You're like, you're right, you should be afraid, or you know what, you should feel totally hopeless right now, because that would be completely against God's nature. But what God does is he actually validates your future and validates the good things that he has for you and validates who he is and who you are in him. So I really want to challenge you guys to change the way you pray. Lisa made a good point. Perfect love casts out fear. Exactly. So what if our prayer time wasn't so focused around our fear, but was more focused around God's love, God's power, God's validation of his future for us? So for example, instead of praying, God, I am so afraid for this family gathering this summer. I'm really anxious about it. Help me not to be anxious. Make sure the kids behave themselves. God, just make sure we have enough money, and just kind of all of those anxiety prayers. I want you to declare, and I want you to say things like, God, thank you for my family. Thank you for this opportunity. I know you're going to be there with me. I know your peace is going to come with me. God, I just thank you, Lord, that you have given me this opportunity to go. I just pray that I will get to enjoy your presence. And so just begin to even pray in a more positive context, more positive way, and declare what you want to see in your life instead of declaring the battles that you have in your life. Nancy, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Amen. That's awesome. Love that scripture. So try to change the way you pray this summer. And yes, that's awesome, Lisa. You renew your mind even in your prayers. Exactly. So maybe stop for a moment and recognize, hey, am I in a prayer trap of constantly declaring my anxiety and my despair, or am I in a place of prayer where I'm actually empowering myself and allowing God to validate my future and how good he is? So awesome. Thank you guys for your comments. That's really great. And my last point number 5. So this is something that when I was going through my anxiety, I was working really hard to get out of it. And so there was a lot of scripture reading. I was going to counseling. I was seeing my doctor. I was doing a lot of things. I was walking. And I still was in this funk, and depression was really kicking in. And I was seeing my counselor, and he just looked at me when I was sitting there just going on and on and on. And he said, "What are you doing for fun? Like, what are you doing for fun in your life?" And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That hasn't even popped up in my head. Is that even something that I should be doing? And so then he really challenged me to start thinking of some ways that I could bring some fun back into my life. And so I don't remember what exactly I did at that time, but I know the power of laughter and the power of community and the power of joy to really begin to combat those negative feelings and anxiety. So whenever you're struggling with anxiety, you know that your mind is at ease and you're easily distracted from your fear and anxiety when you're having a good time. So whether or not you're playing a sport or you're playing a board game with friends, or you're doing something that you really love. And so often we put fun on the shelf, especially when we're working on really overcoming our obstacles in our life and doing those things. But fun should always be a priority when it comes to living a full and fearless life. And there is no better way to do that than in the summertime. I could see a few more people have joined. Hi, you guys. I'm kind of at the end of my 5 tips here soon, but I'll go over them at the end and then you can rewatch this video. But Christina says, fun can be hard because excitement can trigger anxiety in people. I agree. And Wendy, it's important to God that we have fun and enjoy the life He gave us. Absolutely. Just think of it as gifting your child a gift that you're so excited to give, so he'll play with it and he'll enjoy it, and it just gets stuck on the shelf because he's too busy fretting about fighting with his sibling. It's upsetting. You're saying, go and enjoy this thing that I got for you. And it's the same with God. And then Christina, in relation to that, yes. And that's where Christina wrote, fun can be hard because excitement can trigger anxiety in people. So I agree. So it can increase your adrenaline, which increases your heart rate, which all emulates symptoms of anxiety. And that's why it's so important to learn to befriend your fear and learn not to be afraid of your anxiety symptoms, to really accept the fact that, okay, this is my body responding, and trying to work hard to not be afraid of those symptoms. It's easier said than done, I know, but that's one of the keys to really not allowing anxiety to overtake you and rob you of those moments, is accepting that. So the same as point number 3, where I said take fear with you, if that includes doing things that you used to love, that brought you a lot of joy, but now may flare up anxiety, you still love those things. You can still find yourself enjoying them and take anxiety with you on that journey too. It's allowed to be there when you're doing fun things. Lisa wrote, new situations, unfamiliar people can be triggers to do it anyway. Exactly, which is the definition of courage and fearlessness. It's not about not feeling afraid or anxiety, it's about doing it anyway. So I really hope that you guys have an amazing summer. Do your best to take fear with you wherever you go, whatever adventures lay your way, and just really sit back and just chill out. Slack as much as you want. I give you full permission, and just really enjoy the summer and the season that the Lord has given you. I had sent out an email about how my dad had sent me a card out of the blue, and it had a Starbucks gift card in it, and it just said, enjoy your summer, love, Dad. And I was like, aw, that's so sweet. And then the other day I was driving in my car, and I was in prayer, and I was striving, because we can strive in prayer. And I was praying, and I was like, God, is there anything I need to do? And is there anything I can do better? Is there anything I need to work on, and whatever? And often when I'm going off on these self-pity rants, or these I'm not good enough rants, God just will you give me a chance to speak, or are you going to continue? So I was quiet for a moment, and I just felt God say to me, Sarah, enjoy your summer. And so I really feel that God really wants to bless you guys, loves to see you resting, loves to see you having fun, loves to see you guys pursuing Him, pursuing relationships with other people close to you. I really believe that's God's heart. So there's no guilt in it at all. So before I share with you guys my special announcement, I just want to recap my 5 points for living a fearless summer. So number 1, say no and guard what you've planted this season. So now is not the time for harvest and working and digging. Now is the time to sit back and rest and wait on the Lord and watch what you've planted just bloom and grow, and spend time watering it and taking care of it. Number 2 is I give you guys full permission to slack off this summer. So slack off with meals, slack off with housework, slack off with all of those responsibilities you guys hold yourself to all year round. 2 months of summer is not going to kill you or destroy your home. Really enjoy it. Trust me, your kids and your family enjoy, a very simple, laid back life. They really do. Number 3, take fear with you wherever you go. So whatever plans you guys have that you're anxious about, whatever camping trips you have, you just need to come camping with me with 5 kids and you'll never be anxious about it again. So take fear with you on the things that you have planned for this summer. It gets to come with you. It's not an enemy. It's there to help you. So let it be, and that's okay. Don't try to get rid of it. Don't worry about it if it shows up. Just allow it to be there and accept it when it comes fully. Number 4, change the way you pray from asking and begging and going on about your fear and your anxiety and your despair, and changing that for this season into declaring and asking God to reveal his goodness to you. So change the way that you pray. It's very, very powerful. And in doing so, it renews your mind. And number 5, have fun. You guys have an awesome, fun summer. Make that a priority every day. What can I do? Something simple to have a lot of fun this summer and really enjoy it. So, thank you guys for joining. There's a few more people here now, and I really want to thank you guys for joining me today on my live video. I'm always such a babbling mess in the beginning because I like Facebook Live once I get going, but the beginning, I don't know. It's so intimidating. Anyway, so I'm here, and my special announcement is that my book, Fearless in 21 Days, will officially be on the bookshelves January 23rd, which seems like forever, but I'm excited to actually have a date. But the special announcement is that my book is actually available now on Amazon for pre-sale. So I'm really, really excited about that, because what pre-sale means is that you can buy it now and forget about it, and then in January you're going to have a surprise come in your mailbox. So that's super exciting. And also you can go on Amazon. I'm going to leave a link at the bottom, and it'll show you all of the reviews. I've had some not shockingly, but just amazing reviews from people. I've had some reviews from professors of the Masters in Counseling program review my book. I had Cheryl Weber from 100 Huntley Street review my book. Brett Allman, who speaks a lot and travels around the world speaking a lot about mental health, he's reviewed my book. A few other authors have read and reviewed my book, but the most important ones to me are those that anxiety has been a battle for them, and so a lot of my faithful readers, I gave them an opportunity to read it and write a review, and so that's just been so encouraging because that's who this book is for. So I just want to show you guys, this is my manuscript. I should cover my private information so you don't all, send me flowers at once. But 43,000 words, Fearless in 21 Days, a survivor's guide to overcoming anxiety. This is like the biggest baby I've ever birthed in my life, and I have birthed some big ones. So I'm really excited about this. So January 23rd, but you can order the book now. And from a practical stance, the more people that pre-order it, the better my rankings are on Amazon when the book comes out in January, which just means it's more available and accessible to people when they're searching for answers online. So it all kind of goes around full circle. Buy one for your friends, buy one for your church library. I think it's going to be a really powerful tool. So I prayed and I said, God, I want this book to be the #1 Christian resource for people struggling with anxiety. And I really believe that at that moment, God heard my prayer, and He is going to bless this book and bless its work because it comes from Him. This isn't a story of me. This is a story of what God's done in my life. And I'm really excited to get into your guys' hands. So go ahead, and I'll leave a link when I'm done this video, and you guys can go and feel free to share it. And then in January, I'll be annoying you guys with a bunch of emails and launch and stuff and remind you guys to buy even some more books and pass it on. It's really exciting. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing summer. I'm going on holidays in a few weeks into the good old land of America, so I'm really excited, and I've got some fun things planned this summer too, so I hope that I will see you guys on here again soon. Anyway, any questions? I'm going to give 10 more minutes. If you guys have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer it. But it is so hot here. Can you see the sweat? Because I'm in my she shed, and we are going through a heat wave right now. And in Canada, you know, heat waves, that can kill us. So it's been hot. But anyway, any questions you guys have, I'd be happy to answer. And if I don't catch your questions in time, feel free to type them in the comments below, and I will type them in and answer you guys later. I have my my Fearless Traveler course is going on right now. It's still open for enrollment. I just had a student join recently, and I'm always really happy. Oh, the temperature. Okay, so now I have to do this. So it's been 93 Fahrenheit, so like 35, 36 degrees Celsius. It's been hot. So I have been talking about slacking. I had a whole plan this weekend to get housework done, and I pretty much sat in bed in my basement because my bedroom's in the basement, and I watched Netflix and watched other people on TV do housework because it's too hot to do anything, so it's been brutal. But yeah, so anyway, really glad to have you guys join, and I'm going to sign off. It's 110. You're in Texas, right, Danielle? I keep forgetting. That's insane. What do you even do to survive? We don't have AC, so thanks, Wendy. It's awesome. 110 degrees. I can't even fathom that. Not without a beach. I can't. But that's crazy. Any other questions or comments, you guys? See, you have a hard time getting me on here, but then you have a hard time getting me off because I do enjoy it once I get on here. Oh, Arizona. Yeah, right. Oh, that's right. You guys had it so bad was that where they weren't even flying planes because it was so hot, right? Yeah. Yeah. I bet your AC bill is high. That's crazy. Yeah, we've been spending most of our days at the outdoor pool. Pretty much all weekend. That's all I did. Netflix and swimming. But it's all good. All right, you guys. Well, have an awesome day. Enjoy this week. I will put out the points below so you guys can remember it. And bless you this summer. Make sure you go on to Amazon. I'll leave the link below, and pre-order my book now and read all the amazing reviews. Share it with your friends. God bless you too, Nancy. And I'll check in with you guys later. Bye.